Good Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Thursday. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Thursday, and I am about to go over your weather for your short-term future, long-term future, near-term future, whatever type of future. We're going to go in and talk about that tonight. So, what's on tap? Well, we will be talking about pleasant and mostly dry conditions that continue through tonight. Strong warming builds all the way throughout tonight going into Friday. And then a mostly dry cold front pushes through late Friday night into Saturday. And then elevated to dangerous critical fire weather concerns develop on Saturday. Maybe even on Sunday as well. All of that we're going to talk about tonight. But before we get into that, if you have not hit the like button yet, go ahead and do so. Right now we have around a good 7 people tuned in, only 3 likes. So go ahead and hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. We are at 724, trying to get to 800. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, and people that you don't even talk to, because it's free and you can change your mind at any time, and they can also change their mind at any time if they ever want to as well. So all of that being said, let's go on and discuss this weather. So starting off here on the current radar, what's currently going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina. Right now, nice and dry conditions. No rainfall going on throughout the state right now as we speak. But that all cannot be said throughout the entire U.S. Well, we do have some rainfall from Maine going all the way down into New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. But look at this. Rainfall going on in Pennsylvania. Also, we have some severe weather going on in Ohio. Yes, severe weather going on in Ohio. Maybe even a tornado warning going on down here in Ohio as well. We have some rainfall in Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, going on over into Kansas. Snow going on up there inside of the Dakotas. And rainfall definitely has moved out of the Pacific Northwest. Definitely a lot better than what we saw just last night. Now, in terms of our cloud cover, right now, honestly, we're actually good. We're not seeing any sort of cloud cover right now, and that was expected. We've been talking about tonight for the past couple of days, saying that cloud cover is really going to try and go away once we get into tonight, and we'll see as we go into the future more and more. But if we go on and look at it even further, pushing this forward all the way throughout tonight, you can see fog cover going on near the coastal areas, and once you get into the morning time frame, all the way to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, moving on to 1 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. Look at how nice it is tomorrow. I mean, just a very, very nice day going into tomorrow. Now, in terms of cloud cover even further than that, well, cloud cover obviously will build back. That's definitely going to happen. Cloud cover will build back in. But if we go in and push this forward, you can see for sure cloud cover stays away through here 6 o'clock, going into 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. And then look as we move all the way through 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Moving into 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So cloud cover will be moving back through once we get through. And obviously that cold front will also bring in some cloud cover with it. But Saturday afternoon, here we are. Nice and clear. Nice and clear. Current temperatures right now, you have around 65 in Somerville, as well as 64 in Charleston, 65 Beaufort, and 64 in Hilton Head Island and Georgetown, 65 in Conway, 62 in Myrtle Beach, 70 in Sumter and Orangeburg, as well as 71 in Columbia, 71 Hartsville, 69 in Lancaster, 68 Rock Hill, 69 from Greenville all the way over through Spartanburg, Gaffney, and York, 70 Clemson and Anderson, and 68 in Greenwood. Now for your air quality, for the most part, most of us are inside of a moderate on the air quality index, and that's a 51 throughout 100. Not quite unhealthy for sensitive groups yet, but it's not the best. Now, if you're in like the low country areas, going in the Grand Strand, maybe the Eastern PD areas, you're in the good area, so you have nothing really to watch for. Everybody else, moderate, not bad, not bad. And then in terms of your low temperatures for tonight, you have around 61 in Spartanburg, Greenville, Rock Hill, Anderson, even Lawrence, 60, Newberry, 61 in Columbia, 60 in Camden, 61 in Sumter and Florence, 60 Orangeburg, and 58 in Walterboro, 59 in Moncks Corner, 61 in Charleston, 63 Hilton Head Island, and 59 in Georgetown, 60 in Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow, you have around a good 87 Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, 89, Chirac, Camden, Columbia, Sumter, 88, Aiken, Barnwell, Orangeburg, Walterboro, Moncks Corner, 81 in Charleston, Hilton Head Island, 83, Georgetown, and 76 in Myrtle Beach. So we definitely are going to see those higher hotter temperatures tomorrow. It's going to be a nice, hot day tomorrow. Now, what about in terms of rainfall? Rainfall is not expected for the next 24 hours, so we have nothing to worry about here. In terms of rainfall, no rain gear is needed. And then in terms of the crazy score, if you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how crazy the weather is throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And we are at a 9 in the calm category. Why? Well, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, statewide, fully dry. No precipitation expected. Winds are going to be calm. We're not going to have too low temperatures. Our temperatures are going to be pretty mild, just near average. And then also, there is a little fog concern we just saw near the the coastal areas, but it's very isolated, and it's not really going to impact us that much. And for the most part, I think that's about it. I don't see anything else, so that's why we're in a 9. Then as we go into the SPC outlook, thunderstorms are not expected for tomorrow, for today, but tomorrow, for Friday, March the 27th, 2026. We do have a little bit of a thunderstorm risk. Now, you may just be asking, well, didn't you just say it's not going to rain tomorrow? Well, the way how these forecasts usually here work is that the SPC and the National Weather Service are two separate, so they may have different opinions on things happening. And I think that thunderstorm threat, if it was to happen, is really going to happen during the nighttime hours anyway. So I do think that the map went all the way through 7 o'clock p.m. The thunderstorm activity possibly could happen maybe a little bit later than that. So that's one of the main reasons why. Also, if we just have the ingredients for it, that doesn't mean that we're going to have a thunderstorm. But tomorrow night, thunderstorms are possible up there from Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Florence, Myrtle Beach. Now, if we go even further into Saturday, we're not watching for anything here either. Fire weather, we're good. Excessive rainfall. That's not the screen that I had it on. I don't know why it switched back, but we are good in terms of excessive rainfall for the next 5 days. So let's go on and look at the models. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. And as we go on and just push this forward, you can definitely see nice dry conditions through tonight, tomorrow morning, going to tomorrow afternoon, nice and dry. And then as we move into around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m., you're starting to see some rainfall, some downpour activity going on in parts of the upstate. Maybe a little bit in the Midland areas by the time you get to around 10 o'clock p.m. But these are these late night showers and / storms that could potentially pop up as we go into tomorrow night. So make sure that you're watching for that in the upstate and in the western PD areas and in the northern Midlands as well as you go into around 8 to 10 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. And so that will continue through. Here's 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to 3 o'clock in the morning. And now you just have rainfall activity that's kind of just spotty, more isolated now, that's trying to move its way off. And then that amount of rainfall, or that rainfall that we saw here, that we see here, that is indeed from that cold front. So this cold front right here is bringing this little shower storm activity. Obviously not as much as what's going on over there in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley right now as we speak, but still a little thunderstorm threat there. So if we go even further into the future, look at the long-term future, we're going to go to the 48-hour mark. And one thing that I've been saying is that it's continuing to look tame, continuing to look pretty good in terms of rainfall activity. And honestly, it's staying the same. Tame. Going to push this forward all the way through Saturday, through Sunday, going all the way through Monday and Tuesday. I mean, you're just seeing nice dry conditions all the way throughout, even to Thursday, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then as you get into around Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m., going into around 11 o'clock in the morning on Friday, you may see some rainfall going, towards like the end of the week. And all of these days technically has a chance of a little spotty shower to occur here or there, but nothing widespread. But there are going to be some days to where we definitely don't see a drop of rainfall throughout the state. Which days is it going to be? We're just going to have to wait and find out. But for right now, mostly dry, if not dry for the entire state for a couple of days next week. For most of the days, honestly, I should say. But if we continue our way through, I really start to see some more confidence and some rainfall maybe as we go into Friday. But that's way far down the line, almost 200 hours out at this point. So that's, good. that we aren't seeing any precipitation all next week, but not really good because we have the drought to watch out for. So it really just which way you want to see it. And the drought monitor is inside the chat, by the way. So if you want to go on and vote in that, go on and be a part of that. I mean, let's see, how many people do we even have here? We have 6 people in here and only 3 votes. I mean, go on and vote. You know, if you go in and do it, you potentially have the chance to win. So make sure that you go on and vote in that right now if you have not already. That, and then as we continue our way forward through Saturday, going into Sunday, you know, maybe some more rainfall going throughout next weekend, but again, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. Maybe until we get into like early parts to maybe even middle parts of April. I see like another cold front moving through here or there. But other than that, I see that's about all. So now with that all out of the way, let's go and look at the temperatures, because obviously temperature is probably being the more talked about subject right now throughout the state of South Carolina right now. But if we go in and push this forward, I mean, there goes the cold front on Friday. We have some more cold air moving its way through, and it stays throughout the majority of the weekend, goes throughout Sunday, but then as we get into Monday, look at this. High temperatures start to come back up. Temperatures in general just starting to come back up, going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and especially on Wednesday, we'll start to see those temperatures start to get back up into like the 15 to 20 degree above average mark, going all the way through Thursday, going into Friday. Now, as we continue all the way through Saturday as well, Saturday breaking in some more warmer temperatures still, and then some more cooler temperatures, maybe trying to move in, not this weekend, but the weekend after, where we have some more cooler air moving its way through. And then as we go all the way into Tuesday of potentially, well, this is probably a bit too far out, but I should honestly say some part in early to mid-April, another cold blast could definitely try and move through. So we're still not done with these cold blasts. They still will be coming back, but they will be ending shortly, especially I think as we get more into like the end of April, parts of May. And, you know, we really start to get in the summer, I honestly should say. But that's just my prediction. Obviously, that could definitely not be the case, but we'll just have to continue to watch and see what happens with this. Now, as we look into the actual temperatures, because I know that's what a lot of people probably want to know, what are the actual temperatures? Well, if we look into tomorrow, obviously we know high temperatures tomorrow are going to be up into the high 80s, maybe even low 90s for some. Saturday, obviously that's going to change with that cold front. Highs only getting to the 60s. Sunday, pretty much the same thing, only getting to like the 60s, maybe a 70 here or there, but only the 60s or so. Monday comes along, and temperatures start to get back up into the 70s a little bit. Tuesday, 70s and 80s. Wednesday, 80s. Thursday, Friday, all 80s as we move throughout next week. I mean, honestly, next week just looks like such a great week. Dry conditions, hot temperatures, warm, very warm temperatures, whatever you think high 80s are. And it's going to just stay for all week, all week. But then Saturday will come along, obviously, as we know, bring in some cooler temperatures. I mean, it still will have some high temperatures trying to get to the 70s here or there, but it definitely will be cooling down as we get into the week after next week. But that's pretty much all I have to say in terms of the temperature. So let's go on now and talk about the drought. So, if you have no idea what the drought prediction is, it is a little prediction that we see how the drought is going on throughout the state. And so for right now, we are right now we have a drought mainly going on in the upstate. Last time that I checked, in the upstate, that's where the main one is. Also over there inside of the low country, you know, the Grand Strand areas, all of these areas have droughts. The only area that didn't really have a drought too much is like parts of the western upstate and parts of the central upstate, which let's go on and check and see what that last map looked like. So here's what the last map looked like. Here we go right here. This is what the last map looked like. You know, you can see we have the red up here in the upstate. We have some tan, some dark orange over here in the low country, the Georgetown, Williamsburg County areas. And then also over from, you know, Myrtle Beach, Conway, all the way over into the western parts of the state. We have this drought going on. And then in the middle, we have normally dry, the yellow areas from parts of the Midlands, you know, from Columbia down to Orangeburg, and maybe over into Aiken as well. So let's go ahead and check out the options. Well, option number one, obviously, our drought has expanded. Majority of people think that that is the correct answer. 33% says the drought has shrunk / stayed the same, and nobody is saying that the drought is gone, or the abnormally dry is gone. So let's go on and get my prediction right now. Well, if we go on real quick and look at the observed precipitation, we go and look at it for the past 7 days, and you're going to take a look at this and see, barely anything happened. Let me go in and pull it up right here. Barely anything happened. You have some rainfall in the upstate a little bit, but look in the low country. Look in the Grand Strand areas. Look at the PD. Look at the western upstate. Not western upstate, western Midlands. Not a lot. Now, I will say the area that definitely got the most amount of precipitation is up here where that main drought is, which is what we want to see, but we need to see a lot more rain than this. And, unfortunately, as we go throughout next week, obviously, that's not going to help too much because next week is going to be potentially even drier than it was as we go throughout this week. So, honestly, I don't think that this drought is really going to be going away anytime soon. So I'm going to have to be part of the majority and say that the drought has expanded, just because I just don't see a way in which that this would potentially go down. Just don't see it right now. So I'm going to say that it has expanded, especially since it's getting hotter as well. But let's go on and get the drum roll real quick, and we will go on and check out the results. Yes, okay. Big expansion. Had a pretty big expansion.
Can you solve this
That's not what I wanted. My apologies for that. I had another YouTube video pop up. But you can definitely see the red has now expanded now in the western low country. Down there inside of Hilton, near Hilton Head Island, Beaufort counties, Jasper counties, and Hampton counties now as well. Let me get my video that I just had up. And kind of compare it side by side. Definitely does look like, though, that the area in the Midlands definitely kind of got taken over by a drought a little bit more. Also, the red area in the upstate didn't seem to really move. The upstate didn't really change. Also, there is a bit of a drought now inside of Horry County now, so that has also expanded. Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, going into those areas. But the main thing, honestly, is this D3, the extreme drought that is now going on in southern Hampton counties, going into Jasper and western Beaufort counties. So everybody else is the same, though, wherever you were last week, except for maybe if you're in Horry County or maybe in northern Lexington and Richland counties. You're pretty much the same. Nothing has really changed for you. So let's go on and give me and the majority a round of applause for going on and getting the prediction right for today. So that's it there. Again, we're not clapping for any droughts to occur. We're just, congratulating the people who got it correct. But I think that that's all here. So let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say here for tonight. Starting off with Maya Lula, she was here first, says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Hopefully, everyone had a wonderful day. Well, I did. Thank you so much for asking. Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. Well, I did. Thank you so much for asking as well. Please remember to go hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also, share with everyone that you know. He's absolutely correct. Right now, we have around a good, let's see, we've had a good 7 people tune in, and we only have 3 likes. So go hit the like button if you have not already. Also, my Aunt Lewis says, today in Georgetown was partly cloudy for a little while, but it cleared up beautifully. Great to hear. Mr. Chris also says, got you around 88 degrees here in Moncks Corner, and currently it's 68. Loving this warm weather. Same here. Maya Lewis says, today in Georgetown, our high was 75. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And then my Aunt Lewis says, currently it's 65. So thank you both for your weather updates that you have. Then as we continue our way down, our guy Ryan Hall is live as well. I did see that. Maya Lewis says, my grandson and family have left Philly. They are on their way to my house and then headed to Tampa. Well, they're getting out of there pretty much just in time, because Philly's about to start getting cold again. So they got out of there just in time. Good weather tomorrow, yeah, absolutely. Yes, I'm going to try and cut some grass again. Well, I mean, you have pretty much tomorrow, Saturday, uh, Sunday. Honestly, might as well just include the next 7 days at this point, because honestly, it's going to be dry almost all next week. And also depends at where you are, but you're in the low country, so you most likely will kind of just be more in that drier zone. I think the area that's probably going to get the most of the rainfall as we move throughout next week will probably be parts of the upstate, but that can change. Milo says, I'm glad to note the cold blast may be coming to an end sometime in April. Again, that's just a prediction, that could obviously not be the case, as I said, but we'll see what happens. I think that they will try to stop in April, early May. But again, cold fronts still happen in the summer. Cold fronts still do happen in the summer. They're just not as strong. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And that's all that I can see here. So let's go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations outside of South Carolina, what am I talking about? Let me just put you over here. I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go on and give them their weather forecast for them. Even though South Carolina, not even being their main location, they still show up. So let's go on and give them their forecast now. So we're starting off with San Antonio. You have low temperatures tonight at 64. High temperatures for tomorrow at 89. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. Precipitation, not expected. That was expected at this point, as you just are going to continue to be dry. And then in terms of severe weather, excessive rainfall, none of that's expected. So you're pretty much good there. And honestly, I'm just looking at everybody else as well. The other 4 areas and everybody else pretty much is good, besides Duncan and maybe Raleigh. We'll talk about that in just a second. For San Antonio, for your future, look like that you'll be cooling down a little bit this weekend, but you'll be easily rising back up to the 90s again next week, to maybe even trying to get to 93 for your high as you get into the midweek. So, we'll see what happens there. I'm going to end this poll real quick. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at around 62. High temperatures for tomorrow at 89. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 44. No precipitation is expected until tomorrow night, where there is definitely showers that are going to happen. Showers are going to happen as you go into tomorrow night. So make sure that you are prepared for it if you obviously have to. If you have to go out or anything like that, make sure that you are prepared for it. That, and then also, in terms of severe weather, you're not right there, but you're also kind of right there, if that makes sense. You're right on the border of a little fire risk for Saturday, like the same one for South Carolina, which could definitely expand to you. That could definitely expand to you. So make sure that you are aware of that. And also, I barely even touched on the fire weather event for South Carolina as well. We'll talk about that after we're done with this. So if you're in South Carolina, still stick around, because I do have some stuff that I want to say there. But, right here, well, actually, you can't see it, but on Saturday, March the 28th, maybe, not the best idea to burn anything on Saturday. Just don't do it, as it's going to be right there knocking on your doorstep, pretty much. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 54. High temperatures for tomorrow at around 57. Then low temperatures tomorrow night at 31. Also for Raleigh, for your future, you're going to be cooling down this weekend, but then you're going to be warming back up, like 87 degrees on Wednesday. No precipitation after that either. But for Philadelphia, showers are expected tonight. Rain is expected tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, chance of rainfall. And so you're going to see freezing temperatures tomorrow night. 31 degrees, you're going to be right back at those freezing temperatures. The thing that a lot of y'all may have thought would have been close to being over, well, it's going to happen tomorrow. So make sure that you are prepared for it, even though you probably are. I mean, you're in Philadelphia, so that kind of does make sense. But still, make sure that you are prepared for it, just in case. In terms of your future, severe weather, excessive rainfall. Well, severe weather and excessive rainfall are not expected at this time. But for your future, does look like that you will be cooling down a little bit as you go into like this weekend, but then you'll be warming back up as you get into next week, bringing your temperatures all the way up to 77 next week. But it will be a pretty rainy week. Definitely a opposite from what we're seeing here in South Carolina, being dry. Over there in Philadelphia, it might be actually pretty active. Then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, low temperatures tonight at 53, high temperatures for tomorrow at 64, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 45. No precipitation tonight, but tomorrow you have a red flag warning. It's going to be windy tomorrow, gusts as high as 45 miles per hour with sustained winds of up to 30 miles per hour are possible, mainly during that morning time. So make sure that you are aware and prepared for that. You may see power outages. I mean, power outages could happen as low as 40 miles per hour, or power flickers at least. Maybe not full out power outages, but power flickers are possible, especially if you get those gusts 45, 50 miles per hour. So just be aware of that. And then also, tree limbs, tree branches, if you're outside, watch out for anything that might fall on your head at that point. And that's pretty much all for tomorrow. Severe weather and excessive rainfall. For you do have a little bit of a fire risk tomorrow, which is why you can see that those gusts of up to 45, 50 miles per hour. That's going to come with the fire risk. So make sure that you are aware of that. And don't burn anything tomorrow if you don't have to, because fires could potentially get out of control a lot quicker due to those strong winds. And for the most part, that's it for these 4 areas. So I did want to mention this about South Carolina real quick. Then we're out of here for tonight. For Saturday, March the 28th, don't burn anything in South Carolina if you don't have to. Here it is right here. We have a fire weather outlook for a 40 to a 69% probability of fire weather within 12 miles of a given point. That is for, again, Saturday, March the 28th. So make sure that you are not burning anything on Saturday and potentially even Sunday as well. Just don't try and burn anything this weekend in general, because we have some of those fire weather risks that lingers through Saturday going into Sunday. And that's all that I can see here in terms of our fire weather risk. That's all I really wanted to say there anyway. So let's go on and see what's going on in terms of the chat and anything else. Trail says, greetings everyone, greetings to you, and that's all. So let's see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise. Well, starting off, unseasonably warm temperatures continue today across the southern U.S. with more than 100-degree record or near record maximum temperatures forecast through the rest of the week and over the weekend. Dry and gusty winds will also produce elevated to critical fire weather in the central and the southern plains and elevated conditions over portions of the desert southwest on Friday. So all of that is going on, and that's only just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, we have severe weather going on right now in parts of Illinois, going all the way through Ohio, where we have a tornado warning over there in Pennsylvania. We have freezing that could potentially happen over in parts of Kentucky as we go into not tonight, but tomorrow night. We have some dense fog going on in like all of Louisiana almost, except for like the northern parts. Goes all the way from like Leesville, Alexandria down to New Orleans. And for the most part, that's about it. Don't see anything else too crazy. So let's check out the chat one more time, and we'll check out the top fans as well. Mr. Chris says, greetings everyone, please stay safe and hydrated. Absolutely. And then top fans, it was really just between my Aunt Lula and Mr. Chris, which my Aunt Lula comes in at with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then Mr. Chris comes in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, wait, hold on. Let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so yeah, Mr. Chris came in at number 1. My Aunt Lula's at number 2, and then Mr. Anthony's at number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all. If y'all want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also, being here early, being here active, and also being a subscriber, because if you're not a subscriber, you can't type anyway, so you have to do that. So let's go on and give them 3, a round of applause. Oh, there we go. Also, if you wanted to know, right now at my house currently, it is, which I closed it out, I don't know why I did that, but currently at my house right now, it is 66 degrees, and my high temperature today was 79. And that's all that I have to say here. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning for your Friday morning forecast update. And we will also be here tomorrow night for your Friday evening forecast update. We just got to get through tomorrow, and we will be at the weekend. And we have a nice, beautiful week next week to get to. So let's just get through this weekend right here, and we will be back to warmer temperatures. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Thursday, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update. Make sure you hit those 2 buttons before you leave.
Thank you.